I've got gas in my... Sure, I was just informed by it and all coughing and spitting. What's up guys, Johan Bester here from Johannesburg, South Africa. Welcome to my channel. Especially if it's your first time, I'm so glad you're here. And if you're a loyal supporter, I really do appreciate all the support. I've had so many beautiful suggestions. We have a Discord server, which you should check out if you haven't already. And there's a channel there that says suggestions. And so many of you have suggested some interesting things. And I love it because oftentimes it'll be singers that I have never heard of, that you've come across. And I love it because now it doesn't only enrich my life, but also everybody who watches. So thanks so much. So I had another suggestion from Peter. I've done some analysis videos before that he suggested. He's really good at suggesting. So Peter, thanks so much for your support and for suggesting me checking out Gigi De Lana and the Gigi Vibes. That's her band, as I've come to know, I think. Peter, I'm not going to use the video you suggested, but I did look her up and check out many of her stuff that's online, and I found this really interesting duet called After All. It's a cover of After All. That's a song that Peter Cetera and Cher released in 1989 for some movie. Can't remember the movie's name. It's a very well-known, almost a classic song in a sense. And she's doing this duet with Daryl One. Now, she's from the Philippines, and so is Daryl. And I saw that he's in his 30s now, mid-30s. She's like close to 30. So they collaborated, and they do these live sessions in their studio. Tritone Studio, I think, where she records many of her videos. But it really seems live. Like all the muses are there, they're playing, and she's singing live. And I saw that she's got in-ears, so they do it well. And I just thought this was a beautiful moment that the two of them created together of this, like I said, almost classic song called After All. So let's check that out.
Well, here we are again. I guess it must be fate. We've tried it on our own, but deep inside we've known we'd be back to set things straight.
Okay. Let me just quickly talk about that man's voice. Really, really good pop voice. Apparently he participated in The Voice, Philippines, some stage, and that gave him some exposure, and then he just started going huge from there. He's got a huge YouTube channel, huge following. Here we are again. This is in E major so far. And he's got that beautiful light male pop sound and voice type, really beautiful. And notice how when he sings, there's not always a lot of activity here on his face and in the amount of space that he needs to create. Now, when I teach amateur singers who are more new to the journey of developing their skill, then I always say, now, usually when I teach amateur singers, especially singers who are new to the journey of developing their voice and their skill, I would normally say to them, create as much space as possible. Sing with a released jaw. Get your tongue far away from your palate in the beginning, because you need to hear what is possible, how much sound you can produce. Because if your tongue is low, excuse me, further away from your palate, there's more room, literally, in your main resonant space for resonance. And a resonant sound is a good quality sound. So, but once you have great technique, great awareness, great control of the muscles, then you can create beautifully resonant sound without creating a lot of space, by virtue of releasing your jaw, getting your tongue further away from your palate. So that's what I see here with Daryl Ong here. Beautiful, wow, sensitive, controlled. Again, Filipino people, English is not their first language, but his pronunciation is so good I can hear every word. So that was just a beautiful introduction, and let's see what happens when she now enters.
I still remember when your kiss was so brand new. Every memory repeats, every step I take retreats, every journey always brings me back to you. After
Okay, let's quickly talk about her. Yeah, I think she has a beautiful tone in her voice. I think she has definitely, just like Daryl, definitely has very good vocal technique. She understands her voice. She knows how to use the muscles. She has developed the muscles. She's got a great oral awareness. That means she can really accurately assess the sound when she sings. And you might go, duh, singers should do that. Yeah, should be able to do that. Yeah, but not all of them do. So she's displaying great skill already in this first part of the song. Beautiful vibrato that's under her control. She uses it frequently in this song, but it's not there so much that it actually distracts me as the listener. She sings with great ease. It's a very pleasing sound. And both of them so far, for me, really understand the style of the song. Even the way they play it, the band, the arrangement, is very true to the original version of the song, without sounding dated. It sounds a little bit more 90s than it sounds 21st century, but that's what is good for the song, that kind of arrangement, musical arrangement. So.
All the stops and starts, we keep coming back to these two hearts, two angels who've been rescued from the fall. And after all that we've been through, it all comes down to me and you. I guess it's meant to be forever.
Forever you and me, sings the A. Did you notice how not released his jaw is? That's the thing that I talked about previously. He doesn't need to open his mouth so wide to create so much space for resonance in order to make a resonant sound. He sings very effortlessly. It seems effortless. That's what you can do when you've developed the muscles properly. And I always say to the younger singers or the amateur singers, you don't get better at singing a song by singing the song 100 million times. You will get better at performing songs if you work technically to develop the muscles correctly, to develop your awareness, to develop muscle memory, so that when you sing a high A like he just did on a certain vowel, there's so much memory for all these muscles that they just do it correctly, habitually, without you as a singer having to think about it too much. So that's what he does beautifully. She sings with more activity on her face. Neither is good or bad, it's just interesting. She sang the C sharp there, C sharp 5, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, I can never count these notes. C sharp 5. Beautiful full sound, connected, Nice, bright, poppy sound, but so under control. Beautiful. Verse 2.
When love is truly right,
This time is truly right.
it lives from year to year. It changes as it goes, oh, and all the way it grows, but it never disappears.
After all the stops and starts, we keep coming back to these two hearts, two angels who've been rescued from the fall.
And
After all that we've been through,
it all comes down to me and you.
I guess it's meant to be. Forever you and me. After all.
Before they go into the bridge. They sing well together. So the ensemble between the two voices is really pretty for me. Interesting. Sometimes when two singers do a duet and they shape their vowels, their sound very, very similarly, it creates beautiful ensemble. It clicks, it connects really well, and it sounds very pleasing. It almost sounds like one sound, right? Because they produce such a similar kind of sound. Other times, when people sing a duet, even though they do not form their vowels in the same way at all, there is still beautiful ensemble. And again, neither is better than the other. I think in a pop style song like this, the latter is fine, which is what they're doing. The way she shapes her vowels, her vowels are more wide, a bit more spread. His is more narrow and focused. And it's a distinctive two different styles of singing, even though they both sing really accurately within the genre. But it's two different ways of producing the sound slightly, and still beautiful ensemble. So here comes the bridge.
Always just beyond my touch. No one needed you so much.
After all, what else is living for?
Oh, after all the stops and starts, we keep coming back to these two hearts, two angels who've been rescued from the fall.
And
After all that we've been through,
it all comes down to me and you.
I guess it's meant to be. Forever you and me. After all the stops and starts, we keep coming back to these two hearts, two angels who've been rescued from the fall.
And
After all that we've been through,
it all comes down to me and you.
I guess it's meant to be. Forever you and me.
Forever you and
Nice.
After all.
Nice. She did no, I can't figure it out. But anyway, she did a higher, I think maybe a D sharp, with that bit of a grit in it, very punchy, gritty sound, full voice. But again, I always talk about belting. That's not belting. That's just singing with a lot of breath flow, which results in a lot of volume. and shaping the sound in a way that gives it that grit in that higher female range. So beautifully done. I definitely think this is live. I know they say it's live, but sometimes people pretend that it's live and then it's clearly studio and then like a music video, just playing and singing along. But yeah, all the musicians are playing and they are singing live, and that's very impressive. I love the vibe. I've checked out a few of these sort of live videos that they do in that studio today, and I just think it looks like they're all really having a good time. They seem like a close-knit band, and I don't know how well these two singers know each other, but also seems like they, connect well on a personal level. That's what it looks like. And so for me, it was a very warm experience to enjoy this rendition of After All. So yeah, thanks again for the suggestion, Peter. And hey, if you're a fan of either Daryl Ong or Gigi De Lana, then give us some more information in the comments. I love to learn about singers that I've just discovered, and love to hear from you guys, especially all my subscribers from the Philippines. You guys, I'm sure, are great lovers of and fans of these two singers. So love to hear from you. Thanks for spending the time with me. I hope that until next time, you will take care of yourself. Before you go, let me just quickly remind you of two exciting things that is part of our company. The one is a podcast on Spotify, free for everybody, called Voice Matters with Johan Bester. And the second is that we now have a Discord server, Charisma Performing Arts Discord server. I would love it if you would consider joining our community there. The links are in the description.